Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we shall discuss on forwarder receiver. So which is the next pattern that comes under a communication pattern. Under communication pattern, we have three different patterns. So already we have discussed these patterns in our lab session itself. That is the forwarder receiver, client dispatcher, and the publisher subscriber. So these are the different patterns that we are having under the communication patterns. Okay, so how do we define the forwarder receiver pattern? So so the pattern is defined as a providing for a IPC, that is interprocess communication mechanism for any systems with peer-to-peer interaction model. That means what? We have a peer-to-peer communication. So when we are trying to have a peer-to-peer communication, we need to identify what are the underlying mechanism that are supportive for a communication purpose. So that has to be identified. So these components are communicating with each other by using some set of protocols or using the hardware. Depending upon this, the communication will begin. So that is how we are trying to define a forwarder receiver pattern. So here we are taking an example of a draftware. So what is this draftware? So the draftware is the name of a company who is going to offer some application. All these applications are managed over a network. So since the applications are available over a network, so that team has to define a network management. That means since there are many application over a network and all the applications will be deployed some or the other servers, what we need to do, we need to manage all the details of the application, where it is being stored. So how the client can have an access to that particular infrastructure. So to maintain this, an agent will be created and those agent process will be written on a Java to have an access or to run over a network node. So those network will be identified based on the resources that are available. So to enable the exchange of information over a network, what we are using a agent. So that agent we are calling it as a remote agent, where the peer-to-peer communication or one-to-one communication is supported with a wide variety of hardware and the software system. So whatever the resources are there, so you cannot define each and for each and every application, you cannot define a different software specification or a hardware specification when it is available over a network. So it should be available over a common platform. In that way, we need to have a design for a network management. So this diagram says about the company is having a company network and all the resources are shared over a network. Say for example, here you can see there are three different pieces. So all these three different pieces are connected over a computer network and the company is owning a printer system. So here whoever the user or a client is using requesting for a printing application, so that printer is a resource, so that printing resource should be made available over a network. So the context is peer-to-peer communication. uh, So how do we define a problem? There are some set of forces that how the problem is to be defined for a forwarder receiver pattern. So the first thing is when we say a peer-to-peer communication, message exchangeability mechanism has to be designed. So next point is we need to have a cooperation among the components. So whatever the components that are dependent for a communication, all the components should cooperate with each other so that sender only knows who is the receiver. And next is the communication between the peers should impact the major performance. So how do we bring the solution? So the solution can be considered by having a different set of clients and different set of servers where the requesting whatever the client is requesting for the services, all the services will be provided by underlying the IPC mechanism, that is inter-process communication mechanism. So either the message sending or receiving that are going to happen between a peers. So all these things will be encapsulated through the common functionality. So that functionality, all these functionalities has to be named with respect to the physical location for establishing a communication channel. So in forwarder receiver, what happens, the client will request for the service. So before requesting for the service, what happens, the communication channel will be established. So once the communication channel is established between a client and a server, so what happens, the client is sending a request. So whatever the request that the client is sending, so that will be treated as a functionality and that will be encapsulated. So to encapsulate that, what we are using the mechanism has a marshalling. At the receiver end, the receiver will identify who is the sender, and at the receiving end, the message has to be unmarshaled. So next we need to define a structure of the forwarder receiver pattern. So for structure of forwarder receiver pattern, we have the three components. One is a forwarder, receiver, and a peer. So we have a peer class. For the peer class, the collaborators are the forwarder and the receiver. The responsibility uh, the responsibility of the forwarder receiver for the peer class is it provides the application services and it communicates with the other peer. That is, it is identifying some a set of application. So all the set of application.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, people are waiting outside the
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. So this communication with peers will happen with the peer class. Next we have a forwarder class. Okay, for the forwarder class, we have a for receiver has a collaborator. So we have some set of responsibility. So whatever the messages that are generated or that are raised by the peer, so that has to be forwarded by the forwarder. So it helps for sending the messages. Then what the forwarder will do, whatever the messages are there, those messages will be marshaled and it will deliver to the remote receivers, and it maps to the name of the physical address. That means it will identify the location of the server. So based on the location of the server, it is trying to forward all the services that are requested by the client. So next we have a receiver. So for the receiver, what we are identifying as a collaborator, as a forwarder. So what is the functionality or the responsibility of the receiver? So it is trying to receive all the messages. So whatever the messages that has been received, it is going to unmarshal it. So next we have a OMT model for a forwarder receiver. We have a two peers, peer 1 and peer 2. Okay, so the peer 1 is sending a message to the forwarder. Okay, it is a one-to-one communication. Okay, so when the forwarder, when the message is being received by the forwarder, what it will do, it will marshal it. That is, it is going to encapsulate the message. It is going to deliver the message to the corresponding receiver. So what it will use? It will use for having the communicating to the next peer or to the receiver. It uses a inter-process communication. That is, it can have a set of protocols. It can have an underlying hardware system. So utilizing all this component, it is trying to deliver the message. So at the receiver end, the receiver is going to receive the message. It unmarshal the message once the message is received, and that will be considered as a peer to. So once a message is being received, that is a request is being received, next the service has to be provided by the other peer. So what the peer 2 will do, it has to provide the service. So it will take the forwarder, it is going to marshal the message and it is trying to deliver the message. And now the peer 1, since it is requesting, it is getting the service, so at this end it will be taken as a receiver. So the message will be unmarshaled and the message will be received by the peer 1. So that is how the forwarder is going to work. Next, we have a dynamics, that is how the peer-to-peer communication, how the objects are going to interact with each other. So here what happens, just I will move to the diagram. We have a peer 1 forwarder receiver. So this forwarder and receiver objects are for peer 1, and similarly for the peer 2 we have a forwarder and a receiver. So what happens? So the peer 1 is generating the service and it is forwarding the message to the forwarder. So once the forwarder receives the message, so what happens? It is going to marshal the message and it has to prepare for the delivery of the message. So while delivering the message, it uses a IPC mechanism for a communication along with the message, and that will be sent to the receiver 2. Now what the receiver 2 will do, it once the message is received, so it is going to unmarshal it and that message will be delivered to the peer 2. Now what the peer 2 will do, the peer 2 has to send the response. So again it starts sending the message and it uses the help of a forwarder 2, and it when the message arrives at the forwarder, so it is going to marshal it. It has to deliver the message. So again it uses the same IPC mechanism and it will send the message to the receiver 1. So now what the receiver 1 will do, so it will receive the message, it is going to unmarshal it and it will deliver the message to the peer 2. So that is how the mechanism is going to work. Next, we have a implementation. So in the implementation, we have a different steps to different steps or a procedure that how we can design a forwarder receiver pattern. So the first step is specify a name to address mapping. That means what? So since it is a peer-to-peer communication, when a client or peer 1 is requesting for the service, so that name of the peer and the location of the server has to be mapped. So without mapping, so the service may not be provided. So here, how the structure will be there? So it is being considered based on a Unix operating system fashion. So it uses a path. So the server, so which application that the client is requesting. So the path will, the address mapping will be taken like this. Address will be taken as a absolute path. So next is uh, just a second. The second step is we need to specify the message protocols between the peers and the forwarder. So what type of protocols will be used between our forwarder and the peer to send the message? So here it is a code. Okay, we have a class called as a message. So we have a sender and the data. So in a we are taking a constructor. In a constructor, we are creating the object of a send. We are taking a parameter as a sender and the raw data may be the message, and we are assigning the message. And the step 3 is we need to choose the communication mechanism. In what way the mechanism has to happen between a peer-to-peer communication. So while selecting the IPC's mechanism, we need to consider the two different aspects. So the first thing is we need to identify what is the efficiency, how efficiency is important at a lower level mechanism. So, say for example, if we are using the TCP/IP protocol, and the next thing is, so if I am using the TCP/IP protocol, so whether this TCP/IP protocol is flexible for communication protocol, and can we use this protocol to build any application over that has to be identified based on the efficiency of the protocol mechanism. So when the low level mechanism we are using such as a TCP/IP mechanism, so what are the different applications or the programs that are dependent on a particular platform that the client or a peer is using? So if the system is portable on a particular platform, it is better to use a IPC mechanism. That means what? We need to decide if our application has to be portable, then it is better to use a IPC mechanism. So when we are trying to use a IPC mechanism, we need to use a sockets. So these sockets are available for different operating system, and it is supportive for all the application. So next is we need to implement the forwarder. So in a forwarder, what is the functionality of the forwarder? It is going to receive the message from the peer. It has to marshal the message and it has to deliver the message. So that is the functionality of the forwarder. So to implement that, what we need to do? First, we need to encapsulate all the functionality for sending the messages. That means in a forwarder itself, there should be a mechanism to encapsulate all the messages. So that can be followed through the IPC mechanism. So next thing is the physical address has to be mapped. So all the physical address or the locations of the recipient has to be stored as a repository, and whenever it is necessary, it should be able to retrieve and it should establish the communication link to the remote system. So whatever the repositories are there, so those repositories maybe either it can be statistically predefined or it can be changed during the runtime. In that manner, we need to define a forwarder. Say for example, if we are going to associate a printer with a particular system, and that particular system we need to know the address of the physical location. Say for example, we have two different lab, and in a HOD's cabin, a printer is being located. So that physical location address has to be mapped, so that whatever the printing instructions, or whenever we are trying to request that service from any one of the lab, so it should identify the address. So it should locate to that particular address, and it should so to locate that address, it has to identify the IPC mechanism. So it should identify the IP address of the system. It should locate the socket, and then that those address will be retrieved, or it should be saved in a hash table. So once it is being stored as a hash table, so what happens whenever the peer is requesting for a printing service, it will identify the address, and it will just print whatever the file that the user is requesting. So here is a code that how the port will be mapped. So here we are using a destination address, so which is the targeted machine. So we need to identify that through the port number. So the port number and the destination address are assigned to the destination ID and the port number. So in a function destination, we are trying to return the destination ID, and in a function port, we are returning the port number. So here we have a class registry. So in the class registry, what we are taking, we are mapping that address as a hash table. We need to create a hash table. So that's the reason we are creating an object for the hash table. So next, what we are identifying, we are identifying the hash table through the key and the entry. That is, the entry consists of a port number and destination ID. So based on this values, we are trying to create the repository or registry of that particular resources. So next, when the peer calls the send message method, so what happens? So when that method is invoked, so it invokes the marshal function. So the entire messages will be marshaled, and it will be converted into the sequence of bytes. So and the delivery method is called. So when the delivery method is called, so what happens? It will identify from where the message is being sent, and it will locate the destination. At the destination repository, it is going to unmarshal it. So that is how it is going to work. So we have a class forwarder. So in this class forwarder, what we are using a socket. So why we are using a socket? Because we are identifying the IPC mechanism, and the application should be in a portable form. So that's the reason we are using the socket here. Then we are defining the output stream. We are using the output stream. So later we are defining the variable has a my name. So that is the system name. So here what we are identifying, that has a that in terms of a byte. So here what happens, whatever the message is there, so for that message which is of the type message, we need to marshal it. So that will be generated in terms of a bytes. So next we need to deliver that message, whatever the message that has been marshaled, that has to be delivered to the particular system or particular peer. So through the deliver method, we are identifying the destination, and the data will be generated in terms of a bytes. So the data and the destination will be passed to identify the location. So here, while delivering the message, some exceptions can be arise, so that so sometimes the port may not be working or the destination address may be wrong, so that has to be identified. So to identify that error, so what identify those runtime error, we are using the try block method. So in whatever the exceptions that has been arised, either writing the data into the destination or closing the file, so all these things can arise a exception, so that exception should be caught. So next thing is, we need to, the forwarder will remove the send message. So when the send message is invoked, so what happens, it will marshal the message and it is going to deliver the message. The next step is implementing the receiver. So at the receiver end, what it has to do, it will encapsulate all the functionality through the IPC mechanism. It should identify what the message is being received. At the receiver end, it should unmarshal. So the unmarshalling function has to be implemented at the receiver end. So whatever the peers that we are defining, all the peers will run asynchronously, and when the message arrives, so it has to perform the following functionality. So if when the message arrives, so what happens, the receiver has to wait for the incoming messages and it has to control back to its peers. So say for example, so there can be one receiver. So for that receiver, it may be receiving too many messages. So all these messages has to be identified and it should be queued or it should be controlled, so that the reception of the messages from all the different peers should be successful. And the next thing is, we need to identify the appropriate behavior at the peer end. So to do that, what we need to do, we need to implement the non-blocking of the receivers. That means it should identify all the peers and it should identify the timeout values. So based on a specific period of time, so the receiver should receive the message, and if there is a timeout, it should raise an exception. So at the receiver, it performs two methods. After retrieving the socket number from the global repository, it should open the server socket and it should wait for the attention of the connection. It should wait for the connection establishment of the connection. So once the connection is established with the second socket, it should receive all the incoming messages. Okay, so next we have a class receiver, how the class receiver will be implemented. So to implement this class receiver, we need to have a socket, we need to have an input stream, the data which will be treated as a stream, and the name from where the messages, to identify the receivers. So what happens, it uses a unmarshal. So whatever the data is there, all the data will be taken as a bytes. So whatever the bytes that has been received, so it will be stored in a buffer. So it should rise an exception, so when the data entry will happen. So sometimes the same way, the server socket may not be identified or the connection may not be established. So from the buffer, the data cannot be read into the system. So all these things will be taken as a exception. So whatever the exception are there, so once the exception is raised, so whatever the data that will be stored in a buffer, it should return that. So when the message is being receive message is being implemented, it should unmarshal the receive function. So next thing is, we need to implement the peers of the application. So we are taking it as a two peer. So one is a peer 1 and peer 2. So those components or the peers can be called as a one can be treated as a client and other can be treated as a server. So here what happens, the peer will act, if a peer act as a client, it should send a message to the remote server and wait, and the client will be waiting for the response from the server. So after receiving the response, it will be, the client will continue to its perform, and the other peer which we are treating as a server, it will be waiting for all the incoming messages. So once server receives the message, it will execute its service, and which depends upon the message, what type of messages that has received. So next we need to implement the server. So to implement the server, we are creating a thread. That means whatever the messages that are coming from a different clients. So those incoming messages has to be queued up, and the services has to be treated simultaneously. So when the simultaneous response has to be provided, then we need to create it as a thread to execute in an alternative method has a request and a response. So that will be taken as a thread. So we need to create an object for a receiver and a forwarder. So we are creating a run method. So in a through the receiver object, we are calling the receiver. So through the receiver object, we are whatever the messages that has been received. So that will be stored as a result. So what the forwarder will do, the forwarder is going to identify the new messages, new servers, and once the server is being identified, it will send a message for establishing the connectivity that the server is alive. So what happens once the message is being received that the server is alive? So what happens? It is going to send the message. So that is how it is going to work. So next thing is implement the startup configuration. So to implement the startup configuration for the forwarder and receiver, the mapping should happen between the address. It should happen. It should store a separate repository in such a way that the name of the server and the address that should be paired to configure the routine. So we have a configuration class. So in a configuration class, we are taking the IP address and the port number. So these two will be taken, and based on this, the registration will be considered. So next, we have some variants of forwarder receiver pattern. So for the forwarder receiver pattern, we are taking we can consider this for a name to address mapping. So we have a server name and we have a location of the server. There we can use for address name to address mapping. So here what happens? So it uses a IPC mechanism to encapsulate all the other details. So it can remove the mapping with respect to the forwarder receiver. So if it is not providing any other services. So the uses of forwarder receiver pattern is it can be applicable for a task in a reboot, ATMP, and brouhaha. So these are the different applications where the forwarder receiver can be used, and the benefits of the forwarder receiver pattern is it is an efficient IPC mechanism. That means whatever the communication that are happening between a client and server, it provides some it provides a transparency. And next thing is encapsulating the IPC facilities. So from the end user or the peer, whatever the functionality that are going to carry out, so that will be hidden. And the liabilities are no support for flexible reconfiguration of components. So if you want to make any reconfiguration or upgradation for the components when we have implemented the forwarder receiver pattern, so it is not going to support. So that is all about the forwarder receiver pattern. So any doubts in a forwarder receiver pattern? Any doubts? Yes, answer to me. Any doubts? Anyone unmute and speak? Kavya, Pavitra, Aishwarya.
No, ma'am.
You have any doubts for the IA portion? Do you want to discuss anything? The module 3 or the last two chapters of the module 2? Any doubts you are having?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, you said you will give questions, no, ma'am.
What, ma?
Question bank.
Question bank, I will post it in Google Classroom. Okay, so the entire for complete OMD, all the modules, possible video questions that I will post it in a Google Classroom. You have any doubts with respect to innovative or case study?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So in this module 5, whatever the questions that may be given for external exam, if they are going to ask the explain the steps for any pattern XYZ, either forward or receiver command pattern or any other pattern, you need to write the steps. Okay, so whatever the code that I have showed, right? So that code is with respect to that example, whatever the example that has been considered with respect to that forwarder receiver, not with respect to our lab slot. Is it clear? So what you need to write is, you need to write the step. Okay, so how that steps will be implemented, that instruction you need to write there. Okay, next we have left with the two other patterns, that is a publisher subscriber and the client dispatcher. So that I will continue in a next class. So if you are having any doubts with respect to third module, or if I want to discuss any topics, so still we have 15 minutes of time, so we can have a small discussion. Anyone? So if you have missed the class, anything, So if you want me to discuss, let me know so that we shall discuss. Okay, we shall have a discussion of next pattern. So that is, I'll just give the introduction of next pattern. I will continue the in the next class. So we have observed the forwarder receiver, right? So here we need to manage the clients. So whoever, say for example, if there are 15 to 20 clients who are asking for same services, we need to manage all the clients. So we need to identify who are the clients who are requesting for the service from the particular server. So we need to maintain the whatever the communications that are happening between a client and a server. We need to maintain the transparency. So to maintain that transparency, what we need to have, we need to establish a communication between a client and a server, and whatever the communication that are happening between the client and the server, so that communication should be communication or implementation details should be hidden from the client. So for that, what we are using a client dispatcher pattern. So in a client dispatcher pattern, what we are identifying how the system software are going to be implemented with respect to a particular services or particular information, and how that information can be accessed by the individual person through some component. So what is that component? That component we are calling it as a dispatcher. So one, we have a client. So whatever the client is requesting, so that request will go to the dispatcher. So now what the dispatcher will do, that dispatcher will identify the address of the server. So whenever the server has to provide the service, all the services to the client will not be provided directly. So what the server has to do, the server has to get registry. So once the server has got the registration, then only the server can provide the service. So to do that, it has to register to the components. So once the so in what way the server is going to get registered, it will register to its name, what are the different types of services that it can provide, and um, the address or the location of the server. So based on this, what happens, all the services will be provided. Okay, Okay, so the example and the problem I will discuss in the next class. Okay, the remaining the patterns I will continue in a next class. Hope you have received the mail, right? Have you checked the textbook and both the textbook I have mailed to you?
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
checked?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್
ಹಾ ಹೇಳು ರಶ್ಮಿ.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನೋವೇಟಿವ್ GCR ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್?
Okay, I will put once I have put in a GCR, I will send a message in a group. Okay.
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Asta,
Yes, ma'am.
Abhinav, Abhinav, Aishwarya,
Present, ma'am.
Amrish,
Yes, ma'am.
Anu, Anu, Arbaz, Arjun,
Present, ma'am.
Ashok, Benita,
Present, ma'am.
Bhargavi,
Yes, ma'am.
Bhavisha,
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra,
Present, ma'am.
Devmalya, Diksha,
Present, ma'am.
Deepika,
Present, ma'am.
Deepika,
Present, ma'am.
Murali Krishna, Gangubai,
Present, ma'am.
Guria Kumari, Harshit. Yes, you don't leave the meeting, okay? Ginger, Harshit, Ginger, Kavya, Kishore,
Present, ma'am.
Kishore,
Ma'am, Gudiya present, ma'am.
I called your name, Guria. Okay, I have marked.
Network issue, ma'am.
Okay. Kishore, Lata,
Yes, ma'am.
Manisha,
Present,
Manjana,
ma'am.
Naina, Naina,
Ma'am.
Neelanjan, Nishant, Pavitra,
Present, ma'am.
Maithili,
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Present, ma'am.
Akash,
Present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari, Rakesh, Ramya,
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi, Ravi
Present, ma'am.
Shankar,
Yes, ma'am.
Rizwan, Vishal,
Present, ma'am.
Savita, Shruti, Neha,
Yes, ma'am.
Spurti, Srinidhi,
Present, ma'am.
Srinivasa,
Present, ma'am.
Sunil,
Sunil, present, ma'am.
Vaishnavi, Vinny.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, Manjunath present. Network issue.
Manjunath.
Yes, ma'am.
I have marked.
Okay, ma'am.
Which class is going on, students? Recording was not stopped.
Ma'am, Reshma ma'am's class.
Ma'am has exited the class,
Yes, ma'am.
but she didn't stop the recording.
Yeah, ma'am, I will inform.
Now I will stop it.
Okay, ma'am.